Sherry? Afraid to take a chance? Afraid you'll find out you don't have the talent?
You don't know half of my pain. You will never understand my suffering.
Guys, I have this sacred treasure to show you, this artifact. Look at him. He's a little guy. He's got a little mohawk. I think it's a dinosaur, some type of homunculus. I don't know. I'm gonna leave it. It's subject for interpretation. We're gonna leave this up to interpretation. I mean, comment down below. What do you guys think this is? Is it a hedgehog? Is it a piece of lung tissue that somehow grew sentience? I don't know. But I'm showing this to you as a little bit of a palate cleanser before we get into what we are about to get into. Today's sermon is not going to be very pleasing to the ears. Put it to you that way. All right. But the person who made this for me is a very special and lovely, kind, dear friend of mine. You know who you are. So what isn't precious though is what we're going to get into. What we're going to get into today is not. I've gone off and I've done it again. I've gone off and I've picked a really regrettable and genuinely gruesome topic for today's video. And you know what? I think we all deserve a little bit of suffering. Every now and then, okay? Except for me, of course. That doesn't apply to me because actually for the rest of this video, you're gonna watch me use my various unhealthy coping mechanisms, more specifically my horrible sense of humor as a way of getting through this video. Because I've experienced a lot of the things touched on in this video, okay? It's not good, guys. It really sucks. There's gonna be a lot of things are gonna be discussed in this video, just not in a whole lot of detail, because I'm not trying to get flagged, and I'm also not trying to get put on a watch list if I haven't already been put on a watch list, if that makes sense. This is honestly, you can think of this as just like the pasteurized version of this series. Ew, gross. It's like spoiled milk. Ugh. So of course I am going to get a massive trigger warning out of the way. There are going to be subjects in this video, including but not limited to CSA, child abandonment, emotional and psychological abuse, spiritual abuse, spiritual psychosis, self-deletion, and just generally speaking, all things that are just terrible and not good. Okay, so come on gang, come along on this magical journey with me. I lied, it's not a magical journey. We're actually going to hell. We're going to hell and I'm taking you with me. You know what, I'm actually gonna push you in first. It's like your first time at the mosh pit. Come on. Yeah, we're getting right into it, huh? We're getting right into the spiritual, religious trauma part of this series. Of course, my favorite. A statue of the Virgin Mary stands before us, arms outspread. Ave Maria, am I right? And right off the bat, I mean, I'm sorry, but her request is just unrealistic, to be frank with you. Yeah, she says all that weird sensual stuff. Ew, gross. Ew, I don't like that. Hey, yeah, I can't do this video. I cannot do this video. I can't do this video dry. Do you know what I'm trying to say in a YouTube friendly way? I'll be right back. It's gonna be a long night. Buckle up. Well, back to what was said there by good old Mother Mary. Maybe she means that in a fun way, in a way that's not real. Maybe in a way that's like it's symbolic, it's metaphorical, maybe, right? You guys are not gonna like where this disco train is heading. Okay, consider this your second warning.
You were a lamb once, innocent and soft.
Now, are we starting to understand the theme here? We're starting to pick up on the red flags. Oh, this is going to be terrible. The next video following after that shows us the inside of an almost empty rural church. So just like the last video I showed you, we're still being yapped at by the same text-to-speech voice from before. Now, to summarize, this video is just the voice instructing us to remember the horrible thing that, you know, we supposedly did to our friend in this scenario, at least from this individual's perspective. And as stated, we are watching from the perspective of someone whose friend was found unalive and cold inside a communal church, presumably by the friend himself. Again, the character whose perspective we're watching. It's really not that confusing. I'm just really good at making things confusing that don't have to be, but you get the picture. You get the picture. This person, now revealed to be a she, supposedly always said that she would do it, and us, the viewer, did nothing to stop her, supposedly. The implication right off the bat is obvious, and, you know, in all seriousness, normally I love that. I really do. You know, I really do love it when they get straight into the meat and potatoes, you know, no beating around the bush, which is inevitably what I'm going to have to do in this video, but no beating around the bush whatsoever. Love that. Now, already it seems like a lot of the blame is being placed by the viewer or us, right? I'm saying this because the character doesn't have a name. You're gonna get it. You're gonna get it. You're gonna get it. And if you guys couldn't tell, that little black smudge on the screen, oh, what, you thought that was a bug? You thought that was a bug? No, it's not a bug. Yeah, it's not a bug. It's not a bug. God damn it. What have I done? Yeah, I mean, there isn't much to say here other than the fact that, you know, we're revealed to be a child named Silas. Finally, I can start using his name. A child that is unfortunately suffering from a severe case of self-whackery. Self-thwacking, because I'm too scared to say the actual word on YouTube. Self-thwacking. Now, I'm not gonna, oh my God. Give me a minute. God, I feel like Dirty Donna right now. Jesus Christ. Yes, I am your master. Yes. Anyways, I'm not gonna play the last part of this video because it just gets a little, but how do I put this? It's, you know, his inner brain demon is basically telling him the steps, you know, down the street, not across the road. That was in poor taste. Hey, that was in poor taste. Soupy Soup gets canceled before 2026. Oh my God, can we speed run that like as soon as possible? Honestly, it should have happened a long time ago at this point. Now here we are greeted by a visage of the Virgin Mary with her face partially obscured. And yes, of course, she is speaking to us in that goddamn text-to-speech voice again that every analog horror has for some reason. And again, to summarize, she speaks directly to the other character named Delilah here, and you know, she is implied again to be the friend of Silas that self-deleted. I know this is really bad verbiage. I know how bad of a look this is. I don't know what to tell you, okay? Again, without quoting, you know, things directly here, because that genuinely is how bad it is. Like, I almost didn't make this video because of how messed up this series is. I don't know how many times I've said that already, but you have been warned. And then again, without directly quoting things here, to summarize, she basically accuses Delilah of being selfish for having taken her own life, and that her pain will be eternal and she will burn in hell for God knows what. Thanks, Mary. Love you, sis. This is so hard. This is so difficult. This is hard. God, my life is so hard. You guys just don't get it. You guys don't get how hard this is. Like this is probably the hardest job in the world, actually. I just don't have it easy, guys. I don't have it easy at all. Like, I'm so stressed that I have to cover this. Oh my God. So, you know, the next video is presumably an obscured figure, essentially verbally abusing Silas, insinuating that he was deserving of certain forms of abuse that were enacted on him and Delilah by the men in the church, unfortunately. And the nature of the dialogue here is, well, really throughout the whole series, is just visceral, which is, speaking of visceral dialogue, the dialogue in this series is really visceral, but, you know, it's done so in an intentional way. I don't see how it wouldn't be intentional, but you know what I mean. It's an artistic choice. They don't hold back. They don't hold back. They don't hold back the punches.
You selfish, disgusting bastard. You pain yourself out of your own selfish creed. She was right to burn you for your sin.
Me and my positive. What the fuck? What the piss, dude? Get in here. Just come in. Come in. Me and my positive affirmations. Am I right? So if you guys are wondering why it took me so long to get this video out, I hope that now you know why, and that it's all your fault. Yeah, this is because you did this, not me. I didn't do this, you did. The next video in the series shows what is implied to be Silas standing before a mirror. Only something, of course, is wrong. Yes, something is in fact very wrong here, in case you have not noticed. His reflection throughout this series has been completely obscured in shadow, and similarly, so was the female family member, otherwise known as Mommy Dearest. So we now know that not only does he associate the people around him with this sense of just eternal dread and guilt, but he associates himself with that feeling also, those intense feelings of negativity, which is just so sad. And it really shows how, you know, despite all the evil around him, he somehow feels that he himself is responsible not only for the supposed punishments enacted on him, but also his friends passing. And honestly, that's just kind of how I felt through this whole series. I don't even think it was really meant to be scary. I don't think that's what it was. This is, you know, it's just, honestly, it's just sad. You know, just so sad. Analog horror, more like analog depression. That would be a really good. They should make a knockoff cologne and then name it that and then sell it on. Someone's gonna probably take that bit and run with it. They're gonna run a little too far with it, and I'm not ready to take responsibility for that. Now, circling back to this video, notice how Silas's arms not only appear scarred, but how do I describe this? They look like tree bark, or what are they? Are they putrefied? Hey, someone embalmed this motherfucker. Am I right? Take another sip. Shut up.
Did you see that?
Wait a second. Did you see it? Enhance. I'm so sorry. I'm not making light of this. I'm not making light of this. I'm not making light of the subject matter, but I just want to say that that intro was really good. I like that intro a lot. It's my favorite one ever, actually. And no one's ever done it before. No one's ever done anything like that before. What time is it? Oh yeah, you know what? It's 11 p.m. Maybe I shouldn't do that. So Silas here is experiencing what I and many other viewers believe to be spiritual psychosis, which, you know, takes a very, very violent turn in this video. Apparently, Silas is being plagued by visages of his own guilt that manifest to him in the form of angels, consistent with his upbringing, if you would even call it that at this point. These hallucinations try to convince him to cut out his tongue and pull out his teeth in an attempt to silence him. They state that when the men in the church did what they did and told Silas to be quiet, he wouldn't allow it. So now this is his punishment, the way his mind continues to torment him. And even more interestingly, the angel hallucinations also try to convince Silas that if he follows through with their commands, they will show him where Delilah is. For this one, now for this video, I have no words. I don't think any trigger warning will do it justice at this point. So if all of the many warnings I have left were not warning enough for you, then hopefully this will be. Why do I keep tripping on?
We went to the big church today. She made you show the pastor your sin. He praised her ability to punish you when he couldn't. He took you to the back rooms of the church. You knew what was going to happen. It has happened many times before. To be forgiven, you must repent. You must lose your rags and cloth. Kneel before him and bear your sin.
Why the hell did I pick? The next video hits us with an abrupt revelation. Silas is now deceased. Now, to summarize the text-to-speech dialogue here, it describes how Silas hallucinated one last angel, an angel that would ultimately lead him to his demise. And again, to summarize even further, the angels just convince him to go stand out in the middle of the road, throw himself into traffic. And then he'll be able to see Delilah again. Sounds like a pretty fair deal to me, honestly. I mean, that checks out totally. Now, of course, quite sweetly, I suppose, in this video, he states through the very off-putting text-to-speech dialogue that his soul has finally found peace in death. Unfortunately, a peace that he could never seem to find in life, because no one protected him, unfortunately. This is a story that just keeps repeating itself because we live in a society. But I mean, I turned out great, right? Am I right? Look how I turned out. Another interesting detail mentioned in this video is that, some of you might be wondering, where is Silas's dad? Well, in this video, it is mentioned that his dad left. It's never really explained why, but the implication is that it had to do with the weird cult-like behaviors being exhibited by the people around him. So he just left. He left Silas. It was too hard to take him out of that situation, right? In the following episode titled Goodbye, it showcases the process of Silas's state of psychosis, guiding him to the middle of the road, where he stood waiting for the angels to save him. But of course, none would come to save him. It would eventually be a truck that took his life, which I know, sorry for the aside here, I know this really isn't relevant to the overall story, but my pattern recognition is pattern recognizing again. It's hyper fixating on minute details again. So this is clearly in broad daylight, right? This is in broad daylight. I don't know why I keep fidgeting with my hair. This is like a nervous tick. I'm having a nervous breakdown. Anyways, it's broad daylight, right? And this doesn't look like a very busy road. So like, you're telling me bro just stood out on the road and like the guy in the truck didn't see him or anything like that? That's just what they just, I don't know. I don't buy it, man. Like, did the whole town simultaneously decide, oh my God, we gotta, man, that boy ain't right. We gotta put that boy, Gwendolyn, get the keys to the Ford F-150. The video that follows, titled 1979 to 1990, shows Silas's final resting place. A text-to-speech voice speaks to him, applauding him for the bravery he showed in his painful short life. Some words that particularly stood out to me from the narration are as follows: "There you lie, Silas. Your grave is covered in the rot of the marigolds. And you can finally see me again." And as the video continues to progress, slowly but surely the form of a child with angel wings propped up on the tombstone fades into view. It's unclear if this is Delilah or Silas, though. But of course, with all the information provided, it's pretty clear that everything is pointing towards the narrator in this video being Delilah. So in the end, they really were reunited. Sucks that it had to come in the form of a Ford F-150, but that's just what the power of friendship can do sometimes. So now we finally have our happy ending. Everything is fine. And now we can finally put this story to rest.
You don't know half of my pain. You will never understand my suffering. I was dead before I even stopped breathing. You didn't save.
Whoa, 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 what the shit? What the God damn it. Well, Silas just goes ham on all the people who wronged him here, and rightfully so. He seems to recall an instance of abuse where he was left lying on the cold floor, discarded by his family, the ones who were meant to protect him the most. Which, of course, I mean, very, very, very understandably so. I'm not gonna fight you on that, Silas, but well, why you look like that, though, huh? Like, I know you were hit with a Ford F-150, and generally speaking, that doesn't, it's not a very good look. You feel me? Like, the Ford F-150, the car crash victim look is not a very good look, but it don't look like that. Like, why you look like some strange, terrible bird, man? Okay, now this next video isn't a direct part of the series to my understanding. I guess it kind of uses imagery from the series rather as a way of conveying a message. That message, of course, being a direct criticism towards the satirical TikTok cult known as Children of the Waning Star. No, I didn't come up with that name. Some Tumblr kids did, probably. Now, to summarize, I need another. Now, to summarize, it is just as stupid as you think it sounds. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm pissed off, I'll admit it. I'm in a cranky mood. You know, this series, I'm pissed off for Silas. I'm pissed off for him. I'm pissed off for Dwight. I'm in a cranky mood. No, it's a really dumb, I'm gonna call it what it is. It's just really dumb. It's really not that interesting. It's just, you know, a group of people got together, you know, the TikTok girlies, they got together and they were like, you know, instead of shopping at Urban Outfitters, why don't we just get like day drunk and, you know, make a silly little TikTok cult? Let's just get drunk off a White Claw together in a public restroom or something. Wouldn't it be crazy if like we made a cult, but like as a joke? Like it's not real. It's not real. It's not a real cult. But like, what if we made one and like it was fake? It was a fake cult, but it still acted exactly like a cult, and it still used like cult brainwashing techniques, but it's not real. It's like, you know, it's like a Costco membership. And, you know, all jokes aside, the whole thing is interesting. And I don't really understand the punchline. Like, I don't see where the joke is, but you know. And so that takes us back to this video, which is essentially just a diss track. Like, Silas is pissed off. He actually starts rapping like a full Eminem verse in this video, if you actually go and watch it. That really happened, I promise you. It's real. It's real. Go watch it right now. I bet you won't. I bet you're not. But you're not gonna do it. Now, the next tape, titled Silas Tape 1, partially found, is different than the other ones because it's live action. Yeah, awesome. We got live action content. Oh my god. Oh my god, no, we have live action content. Oh no, man, no. Now, it's hard to make out what Silas is saying here, but it sounds like, you know, he's begging for help while hiding in a closet type space. You know, average coming out of the closet experience for homeschool kids. Totally relatable. Get it? Because we never come out of the closet. It's like we're trapped there. But with me, there are always signs. So one comment by Maze explains what they believe to be happening in this video. It reads, okay, I don't know if I'm right, but what I gathered was, you have to get me out of here. I have to get out of here, please. And then it's kind of hard to hear, but something about he won't stop. And then at the very end, I think I can faintly hear him say, Dad, which makes me think he's making these tapes for his dad, who's left the cult, which we found out a few videos back. begging his father to save him, which we know he doesn't. In the video labeled Mama, we are greeted by what I assume to be a skinless Silas. Now, why exactly is he skinless? That is the question that is largely debated. Was it that his body was desecrated after death? Is this showing the state of decay that he is now in because a significant period of time has passed? Or is all of this kind of symbolic? Personally, I think it's a little bit of everything. But I definitely do kind of lean into the symbolism aspect of it. Even if, literally speaking, some of these things actually did happen in the series. I think also this is a very physical way of representing what's the word I'm looking for? The permanent disfigurement of sorts that happens when your innocence gets stripped away in such a horrific way. And this series does a really good job portraying that. And I want to circle back a little bit here. I joke a lot in my videos. I do. That's just kind of my thing. I'm like the court jester for all to point and laugh at. I'm a spectacle. I'm a train wreck that you can't look away from. Genuinely, I don't want this to come off as me being insensitive in any way. To make it more comfortable for me. This is for me. But of course, we don't have any time to process that though, because the next video is Delilah. Oh, Delilah, she's just staring in a mirror. Oh, girl, yeah, girl. She's having a girl moment. And of course, she's reminiscing about how much she enjoys, not eating. Not eating. To quote her directly, she enjoyed being in a horrible state. Oh yeah, it's finally answered. No, it's finally answered. They cut off his skin. Oh, the people in the church, and presumably his mother, they skinned him after he got hit by a Ford F-150. Can we not give this kid a break? He already got hit by a truck. My God. I mean, the gall of these people, the audacity. And this specific form of desecration is, well, at least to me, it's reminiscent of the martyrdom of Saint Bartholomew, one of the apostles, who was famously skinned alive for his faith. I don't know, maybe I'm kind of reaching with that one, but it's hard not to notice, with the religious themes and, the fact that it is such a specific form of torture that it just feels, it's hard for me to imagine that detail was unintentional, if that makes sense. The following episode, labeled Mother Dearest, is taken from what I believe to be Silas's mom's perspective. She seems to be very upset about a newspaper article detailing the discovery of her son's Marigolds remains and its potential to lead back to the church. So in this moment, the mother shows more care and concern for the well-being of the church and its congregation than her own late son. And in her own internal dialogue, she actually, this is gonna piss me off, she actually describes her son as a little who will inevitably cause the paper trail to lead back to her and the church. Oh, Glenda, that's so funny. Listen here, Glenda, let me tell you a little something about being a slut. And guess what, guys? Oh, we get more footage, we get more live action footage, yeah, woohoo! But don't worry, guys, don't worry. There's sort of a happy ending to this, kinda, like how in in the night at Five Nights at Freddy, when they put the guy in the suit, and the suit cuts his dick off or something. I don't know. Point is, but if you look closely, you might notice something's wrong. Oh yes, that's right. That does appear to be the mother's skinned corpse. Yay! Yippee, yippee, yeah! How long do you think it's gonna take for someone to clip that out of context? Just a clip of me rejoicing over a woman's horribly graphic death. I wonder how long it's gonna take. Yeah, comment down below, guys. Okay, now, all jokes aside, for this part, I genuinely don't feel comfortable playing out the dialogue at all, because, oh my god, it's just, it's a lot. It's a lot even for me. But Silas is roasting his mom here, basically. You know, he is flaming her a little bit. Okay, now before anyone here says, hey, Soupy. Hey, Soupy, hey, yo, this ain't funny, bro. This is in poor taste, bro. Hey, Soupy, you might want to cut that out of the video, yo. There was no other way I was going to be able to get this video out. You do realize that, right? Like, I can't do this. I cannot just raw dog this shit, okay? Okay, what episode is this? Oh, it doesn't matter anyways. We have another Silas tape. Oh, yeah. And his mother is telling him to stay down for some reason, and I don't like that. Ew. I don't like that at all, actually. Yeah, so, hey, so when do we all get to curb stomp this? Okay, now, if you guys at home are thinking that I'm going through these videos kind of fast. Hey, look, a squirrel. Okay, genuinely at this point, it gets so much worse. Hold on. God fucking damn it. I'm not even joking, guys. This is probably one of the hardest videos I've ever had to make. I'm in a hell of my own making. Okay, genuinely at this point, it gets so much worse after this that I just can't watch anymore. I can't watch anymore. I think I've seen enough. Jesus Christ, I really do think this is an amazing work of art, guys, in all seriousness. If you guys do want to check it out for yourselves, I highly, highly encourage you guys to do so, but please tread with caution. I do not say that lightly. Like, genuinely, it is very rare that I have to actually tap out of a series part way through. To be fair, everyone's experience is going to be different. This is just a very obscure type of story, type of circumstance. Uh-oh. And that's why I am the way that I am. Anyways, I couldn't finish it, but, you know, good on you. Can we give a round of applause for Rotting Marigolds, the creator of the thing. You did a good job. Now I can't, you know, good job for you. Really did it. And you did something you did something, and it hurts. It hurts to look at, hurts to hear, but I think maybe that's a good thing. Because, well, you know what? I think this is a good time to segue into my conclusion of sorts for this series. Again, we kind of already analyzed it throughout this video. It's really, there's not a whole lot. It really doesn't leave a whole lot up to the imagination, this series, right? Pretty simple from start to finish. I mean, you have a young child named Silas who passed only at 11 years old, and presumably Delilah, his friend, was the same age. But you got these two kids, and they are being raised in a cult, presumably some sort of Christian cult based on the religious imagery being shown, and, you know, the angels and all that stuff, and of course the Mary. So presumably this is some cultish form of an orthodox religion, presumably Catholicism, right? And it's rife with abuse. It's pretty obvious right away what's going on. I mean, the mom, you know, with her being a part of this cult, is brainwashed, and it's, you know, possible that even she herself might have been raised in this cult, but it's pretty clear right off the bat that, you know, everything takes place in a small town. I mean, even in the video where you see Silas walking out to the road where he would eventually be unalived, you can see the whole area seems very rural, in a sense, for lack of a better word. So it gives off this impression of just isolation, you know, helplessness, nowhere to run, basically. We don't even know if Silas is enrolled in school even, you know? I know that's an odd detail for me to pick up on, but I was thinking that while watching the series. I was like, how is no other adult aware of what's going on? I mean, especially with such severe manifestations of abuse. And honestly, I think to put it to you simply, not to project my own childhood experiences onto the story, but I think it's very possible that, you know, these kids are being essentially cut off from the outside world, right? And I'm not saying this type of stuff doesn't happen to kids who aren't homeschooled, but it's just a lot more likely. And, you know, I'm sure if you were to do a study of sorts, just the sheer amount of homeschool kids that experience religious abuse growing up, I'm sure it's just such a high number. I don't know. Gee, I just have a hunch. I just have a stinking hunch, you know? Circling back though, the part that really got to me was the mention of Silas's father, you know, just kind of saying deuces, you know, he went out for milk and cigarettes, I guess, so that he left his son to fend for himself in a cult. Presumably, I mean, that might have even been the reason why the father left in the first place, to get away from the cult. But then why wouldn't you bring your kids with you? You know, and I do know how certain cults operate, you know, like take the FLDS, for example. If you guys don't know what that is, consider yourselves lucky. But there's a whole bunch of documentaries on it. It's a whole can of worms, okay? But you got cults like that where a lot of times parents lose custody of their children because, you know, the police are corrupt and they're in cahoots with the cult. There's just a lot of ways that shit can go south. And I know I'm kind of branching off the story in non-canonical ways, which is really silly considering the fact I genuinely couldn't even finish the series. There's just a lot of ways that an upbringing like that can just destroy someone. It can destroy a family. If it doesn't physically kill you, it'll definitely kill a few brain cells, you know? Anyways, you know, and I also really appreciate, you know, the creator of this series, you know, duking it out for us with the Children of the Waning Star. I didn't even know what they were before watching that video. I had to go look it up, and yeah, I have to agree, if everything I read was true, it does sound like goofy goober shenanigans. Links in the description, and yeah, thank God I'm not a true crime channel. God, I would not be okay. Until next time, bye-bye.